welcome back to Minecraft Lovehunt. I kind of forgot what happened last episode. I think we just met all three of them and we're gonna go to the nether. Link to the video on the top right card right there. You can see it, it's right there. And I guess we'll jump right in. We're ready. Setmap nods and you all usher over the line of blocks right before the portal. You inhale deeply and exhale slowly, and attempt to calm your nerves before entering the portal. You peer over the side to see the other three doing the same. Dream then began to count. On 3. 1, 2, 3. As Sapnap shouted, the four of you jumped into the portal at the same time. After feeling light for a split second, you thread through the two different worlds. You feel gravity pulling you down as you enter a warmer surrounding. You decided to take a step down to the obsidian platform. With the disorientation catching up to you, you had fallen to your knees, clutched your head. Teleporting from one world to another isn't exactly as fun as it seemed. The other three had simultaneously groaned as they landed. Why does George look so pretty? Ooh, I feel so ugly. Yeah, hopefully we're never doing this again. I second that. Shaking his head, Dream stood up and battered away at the netherrack dust that had gotten all over him from the fall. You and the other two had followed his lead and did the same. Dream gazes around the view of endlessly dripping lava, trying to let the scene sink in. The nether. You can hear the dread in Dream's voice, and you are about to approach him before he turned around with a stern look on his face. Gather a bunch of netherrack. We'll all need it. You all nodded and split off, and you bounded off to the side of diverting a small strip mine to easily gather a big amount of nearby material. As you mined away, you heard a loud gasp echo from outside the cave. Guys, the fortress, it's right here. You raise your eyebrows in surprise. It was just near spawn? That's so lucky. You hurriedly mine a bit more netherrack before running outside, catching up to Sapnap, who had evidently done the exact same. Nice find, Goggy. Goggy? George seemingly cringes at the nickname, but was cut off from reacting due to the fact that Dream had ruffled his hair. Everyone follows George's lead towards the structure. As your group approaches the nether brick walls, everyone took turns in using their bundle of netherite to maneuver up an entrance. As you helped each other up the ledge, George gasped as a wither skeleton attacked him, yet managed to bring up his shield in time to block it. George! I'm fine. Let's just go. He shoved the mob back as everyone darted off the opposite direction. Dream points towards the nearby blaze spawner, calling Sapnap to his side. As they both began to farm for the needed blaze rods, George was busy defending the area from other mobs that had followed you. The two different mobs began to multiply as time passed, and you knew you had to help out somehow. George! You bounded over to George as quick as you can, swinging your axe at nearby wither skeletons before shoving the others away with your own shield. George looks at you in surprise. Ooh, pretty! You... But he was cut off when two more skeletons had bumped against him. You reprimanded him, saying it wasn't the right time to complain about your split-second choices. He silently nodded, working on defending the other two as they handled each other's sides. We have enough. Let's go. You all fought your way through the fortress grounds and went to a nearby netherrack field. As you dashed through the terrain, you noticed Dream and the others weren't heading for the portal. You racked your brain as you wondered why, but remembered you needed the easiest and quickest way you could all think of obtaining ender pearls. And that was true piglin horde trading. Y'all looked for a biome that had enough mobs that were available for trading. Dream hollers over to you guys to dig up a hole to surround at least 2 or 3 piglins. George passes his golden helmet over to Dream as he tosses gold ingots towards the hoglin-like humanoids, leading them to the hole you all made. With no gold to pass the piglin's taste, the others have begun to run towards everyone else. Sapnap was on the end of a pit fighting against 2 ghasts that have simultaneously spawned. George was on the other end, fending over other piglins and few wither skeletons that had followed your group. Dream, make it quick! I'm trying. Dream! Piglins. We go for George. We're Goggy Wet. Making up your mind, you take long strides towards the older male who seems to have a tiny bit of trouble fighting off the mobs. You tell George that you can handle the skeletons and have him run around the area as much as he can to stall time for Dream to make the sufficient amount of trades. Sounds like a plan, aye? He then began to run around and lead the other piglins away as you exchanged hits with the withered skeletons in front of you. Everything began to overwhelm you, from the amount of mobs surrounding all of you to the huge amount of pressure you're feeling right now. Sapnap began to call out, peeved tone seeping out of his voice. Dream! Dream rolled his eyes. Let's go, this way. He was visibly irritated as he was pressured, but hopefully everyone would shrug it off. You all bolted towards the right direction of the portal, the one you finally recognized, and gasped in relief when you spotted the familiar purple particles flaring into the air. Dream reaches it out first, not entering the vortex, and instead opted out to take a swing at an approaching aggressive piglin mob. Get in! Now! Without a second thought, Sapnap and George had entered the portal, their bodies slowly disappearing into the overworld the longer they stayed in. You glanced back at Dream and hesitated. You didn't want to leave him behind. Dream frowned at you. Go! When you didn't budge, Dream had instead pushed you through the portal. When you came to, your first reaction was to frantically check your surroundings for your other companions. We're here, we're here. From behind you, you hear Sapnap and George seemingly out of breath. The older of you two was lying in the back, whilst the other was seated in the nearby grass and wiping the sweat from his chin. George's voice was wavered when he spoke up. Where's Dream? Your heart sank when you had to explain what happened before you teleported back to the overworld. They both frowned at this. Of course he would. We have to go back, see if he's still there. We need to help him. Before our argument could get any bigger, Dream had suddenly appeared from into the overworld. He landed onto the grass with a harsh thud. Dream! Y'all rushed over to his side, which he waved off. Both Sapnap and George helped him up onto his feet. I'm fine. Health check, guys. Y'all warily nodded before looking up your own health bars. George says there's 4 left. You and Sapnap had the same amount of 3. Dream only had half a heart. Sednap frowned as George crossed his arms. What happened to being careful, Dream? Dream waves him off as he pulls out a piece of bread to replenish his hunger and to regen. All that matters is that we're fine. It was our first and hopefully last time in the Nether. Of course it'd end up messy. You were about to hand him your golden apple, but he noticed and stopped you from doing so. I told you, you'll need it more than I do. You frowned, but didn't push. You stashed it back into your inventory as Sapnap approached him to craft the Eyes of Ender. As they successfully crafted a few, Dream flicked up and he slowly rises and leans towards one direction before ultimately plunging to the ground. The blonde catches it right before it lands and double-checks it if it's snapped into two. Well, we have our lead. Let's go. Y'all then fell into step with each other. The walk was quiet, save for the occasional clinking of Ender eyes that came from Dream. It was a bit too quiet for your liking. Check up on who? George, of course. You slowed your pace down to match with George's, who was situated at the end of your little line or followed the leader. The color... Is it really necessary to say colorblind in this sentence? I'm sure... it has... Okay, if the sentence has nothing to do with his sight, why do you mention that he is even colorblind in the first place? Like, it's not like you were just like, the colorblind guy was looking at pink flowers or something like that. And look at pink flowers and I was wondering what color they were. I mean, make it make sense, you know? You don't just put out random adjectives just cause. Just some feedback, okay? Yeah, it's just some feedback from me to the writing. Some things are not necessary. For me, if it's not necessary, I won't put it in. This is why I'm bad at writing, because I rarely put any descriptions or anything. Like my friends can make like whole journals, and I'm just like writing my diary entry in a few sentences. It's amazing. The colorblind male had been munching on a cherry bread, effectively replenishing his health. He nods as he swallowed his recent bite. I'm all good, Thanks for asking. Do you need anything? The only food I've seen you will was a gapple from way earlier. You shook your head, letting him know that you have your own stash of foods. A little bit of silence filled the space between you two before George speaks up this time. So, do you have any questions, like, in general? I just figured that since you've been with us this entire time, might as well get to know each other a bit more. Let's see. What else would you like to do outside of this? You now knew that he likes coding and reading books. Maybe there's more that he'd like to do. I didn't know he liked coding. Like, it wasn't mentioned in the previous conversations. I think only reading books was in the conversations. Oh well. George blinks for a second before humming in thought. Something I like to do other than the ones I've told you? Well, I'm quite into chess. I play it from time to time with the other two. You nodded your head. Interesting. It wasn't really a game you're too interested in. It fascinates you when you watch people play, but the mechanics are quite confusing. He notices this and he lets out the softest laughter. Haha, if you aren't into it, that's okay. But if you really want to learn it, I can teach you. Maybe even have a little chess date, if you'd like that. His cheeks tint pink, and you bashfully smile back. You'll have to keep that offer in mind. Everyone stopped walking when Dream halted in his tracks. It's down here, he announces as he whipped out his pickaxe, beginning to mine a way through the ground. George and Sapnap had gone to the same thing on the other side of him, so he decided to follow through and mimic their actions in front of the whole Dreammaid. He continued to dig deeper, not even paying attention until you realized you dug through the stronghold's ceiling and fell through. You dealt a bit of damage to yourself thanks to your clumsiness. Dream had safely landed with the water and mildew, and so did George, although he let his water spread around for a bit for Sapnap to land safely in. You're gonna give us a heart attack, Be careful next time. You let out a sheepish chuckle as you pulled an apple from your inventory and proceeded to munch it on it to regen. Y'all took a better look at which part of the stronghold you guys were located in. Y'all realized you were in the middle of it, with 3 pathways. The end portal, the library, and the way to another hallway. Sapnap let out a huff. Huh, lucky. You patted off the remaining dirt off your clothes as Dream began going towards the portal room, getting rid of the silverfish spawner before starting on filling the gaps on the portal itself. Sapnap scratches his head before heading off to the empty hallway that leads to an iron door. I'll go over there to check if there's any stuff I can grab before we enter. Same, I'll take over here. You're on your left to your own devices yet again. Go with whom? George. Of course, who else are we going for, hey? You took the path to the left, entering the iron door and following the older male. As you entered the room, you were greeted with tall rows of bookshelves filled to the brim. Hearing the clink of an iron door closing behind you, George called out in the corner of the room. I'm right here. What's up with the music? Why is it so upbeat? It's a bit funny of a choice here, isn't it? Okay, but okay. We'll go with it. You followed the sound of his voice, leading you to him as he closed a chest and proceeded to sit on it. Just a compass and a few blank pages. Nothing useful. He mutters out a little, oh yeah, and proceeded to bring out his crafting table, seemingly created a bow along with some arrows. A moment of silence had seeped their conversation before he called out to you. You looked to him. You seem a bit nervous and flustered. I figured that maybe this will be the last time we'll be able to talk in a calmer manner, let's say. So, I just want to admit something. I think you're really amazing. I think I'm amazing too. I mean, imagine in fighting all those mobs in real life. I can't imagine. It's just much too scary. Even in game, it's scary to me. Can you imagine? I'm so amazing for tackling this on. Like, seriously. I hope I don't overwhelm you or anything. I just wanted to let you know that. That what? Thank you for the donut! Yes. Yes. Okay, let's just say I like you too. Alright? Let's not be memeing here. No memeing allowed right now. Oh. He smiles sweetly at you. I'm glad the feelings are mutual. The music is fire though, like Even though I just said it kind of didn't fit, but the music is nice. I'm glad that the feelings are mutual. You feel a slight blush rise from your cheeks as he affirmed your growing feelings towards him. He hops off the chest. Let's head back? I'm pretty sure Sapnaps calmed his nerve and Dream finished up the portal by now. You nodded and followed his lead out the chamber. As everyone started to regroup, the quiet humming of the finished end portal echoes out. Nervously, Sapnap speaks. Any encouraging words before we hop in? Turn to George. When George meets your gaze, his face was slightly tinted pink. Me? You want me to? All three of you had simply encouraged him with the smiles on your faces. George sighs, shaking his head a bit before looking back at you all with a smile of his own. All right then. I know most of this was my fault, but there's no time to dwell on it now. What matters is that we're close to what's probably the solution, and that we'll all be able to escape this realm and return back home. Everyone had given out each other affirming glances, reassuring one another that they were ready before staring down towards the black vortex. You gripped on the axe and shield that you were wielding, your nerves making you feel all jittery. On 3, Sapnap shakily breathes. 1, 2, and everyone began to run out. 3. You braced yourself as the discomfort of teleporting began to set on you. You covered your mouth as you landed onto the obsidian platform, trying to get a hold of yourself. George shakes his head as he checks on everyone right after the landing. Are you okay? You waved him off, coughing as you do. It doesn't particularly convince him, but he trusts you enough to regain your balance yourself. Dream and Sapnap seemed to have gotten used to the feeling of teleporting as he appeared fine. You struggled to get back on your feet as they began to build their way towards the center of the island where the dragon was situated. You got yourself on your feet and caught up to them. Go ahead and push towards the dragon. I'll take care of the ender crystals. Make sure every shot counts, George. Of course. He runs off to the sides as he already began to aiming the top of the pillars. Dream turns to you. Me and Sapnap will go ahead and land attacks on the ender dragon. You steer clear from her, alright? Kill some endermen and grab the pearls as they drop so that you can filter them to us or use them yourself if you have to flee. You oblige, staying at the outer ring of the island as the two child friends rush towards the middle. You dared to make eye contact with the tall void mobs to aggravate them. You proved effective as they began to open their mouths. Their irritating buzzing gets louder as they launch themselves at your shield. You shoved them away and attempted to land hits on them whilst taking caution of any of their attacks that managed to get too near to you. After taking at least 2 more hits from the mod, you counted the amount of ender pearls you gained, whilst eating some bread to regenerate your health. Seeing that you've gotten quite a lot, you quickly jump into the middle to throw some to Dream and Sapnap. Thanks, Sapnap manages to catch all of it, tossing the other half towards the blonde who had just landed his warrior emoji. After a few more minutes of combat, it seemed that the Ender Dragon's health had depleted until halfway. George had done his job of shooting all the healing crystals. You were busy looking around for the older male when the dragon had launched a fireball near you. You had only heard a soft thudding sound before you knew it, you were surrounded by purple particles that began to burn you. Use an ender pearl! Get out of there! You fumble over your items in inventory, finally stumbling over the spear-like object and throwing it away somewhere safer. Your breath was shaky, and on sharp puffs you teleported. You looked up your health bar to see that you had 2.5 hearts left. Are you okay? You wanted to reassure them that you were fine, even a wave of your hand, but the required effort to do so was too much for you, and you ended up feeling a lot more lightheaded. George, we need you! Being the nearest one to you, George glances back to you worriedly. You shook your head in an attempt to tell him to go help the others. George furrowed his eyebrows together before turning away and ran towards the middle. I'm right here! We need your help in keeping the dragon away from I. Got it. Right. Dream was the sole person out of everyone in your group to have experienced being half a heart, and you were close. To say it hurt like it was sugarcoating it. You felt excruciating pain as your heart tried to make up for the blood that you have lost from the recent situation. As you breathed heavily, you felt around for the golden apple that had stayed in your inventory the entire time. The last time you glanced at the dragon's health bar, it was nearly finished. Just a few critical hits and it would be over. You sighed as you took your time, finally being able to fish it out from your belongings. You were about to eat it when you heard a bellowing noise from the above. The ender dragon was coming right at you. Aye! You froze up and shut your eyes tight as you braced yourself for what was about to happen. You heard the noise of a hit. You didn't feel any pain. You opened your eyes and saw George had his bow up and fired his last arrow at the dragon that had been the only one hit away. The dragon screeches as it levitates up, light protruding from its body as it slowly disintegrates into specks of particles and EXP points. And right then, a sound effect echoes from George himself. George Lovehunt has made the advancement free the end. Everything was silent before the two of them began to whoop loudly. Oh my god, George, you did it! Yeah, that's our boy! Yeah, that's our boy. I love your words. It's the kind of words I would say to myself. Maybe you and I are not so different after all, Sapnap. I almost said Snapchat. George was then lifted into the air by the two, the male himself laughing loudly as they all cheered. After a whole while of being stunned, you let out your share of giggles. The boys turned around as they heard you laugh. The two childhood friends had glanced at each other with a glint of mischief in their eyes before running towards you with George still on their shoulders. Whoa, guys, let me down! The two had simply laughed at him before letting him get off as they stopped right in front of you. Dream helped you get up to your feet, giving you the golden apple you dropped to heal up. You nodded at him in thanks, feeling a lot better as you took a bite out of it and turned to see Sapnap pushing a blushing George towards you. When he was right in front of you, you had simply thanked him for being brave and saving your life. I'm really glad you're okay, I. He wasn't the one who can easily convey his emotions through words, you figured. You gave out a soft laugh as you cupped his cheek, letting him have a bite of your golden apple. Oh, thanks, I. Jim laughed out in exchange, his hands on his stomach as he cackled. George sent him a glare, going to the point of even rolling his eyes at the male's reaction towards you two. Alright, you two are cute, we get it. Come on, let's go home. You nodded, and all four of you had walked up to the middle. Dream and Setnut had hugged each other sideways as they made their way to the portal, their antics making you stifle a small giggle. You hope that once you all jump in, you will all, one, be able to come back home safely, and two, remember everything that happened. You were so nervous, but this was far from your only choice. Jump into the unknown. You felt someone grab a hold of your hand. Your gaze strummed on the portal to see that it was George himself. He had a soft, reassuring smile on your face as he squeezed your hand. You're sure that he was nervous too? On three, everyone grinned at him. 1, 2, 3. You woke up on you. Wow, that that took a while to load. You woke up on you. You woke up on your bedroom floor, clutching at your throbbing head. It seemed that you had fallen over your chair. You hear your phone buzzing from your desk. Groaning, you called up to check your notification were going off for. For the first few spams, it had been from your friends who were apparently late for a Hypixel game together with them. The most recent was George not found went live, fixing my chair. George not found. George. Minecraft. The realm. You quickly pressed on a notification and the stream's audio was booming out of your phone speakers. Sorry guys. I know we were supposed to be doing a Minecraft challenge right now, but our connection did some sort of blip and now my chair is wrecked. The chat room roars in laughter, finding it hilarious that he had fallen off his chair to the point of breaking it. Wow, chat, you guys aren't feeling nice tonight, huh? Your heart begins rising. You impulsively sent a donor to try catch his attention. He stops holding a piece that belonged to his chair to check the donation. Okay. My goodness. I didn't read that fast enough. Okay, who just donut? Thank you for the donut. You think you're so funny, huh? George stopped himself when he read your username. I? Hold on, DM me on Twitter. They have the same user? You had to be quick. You knew how fast people can be taking at names and usernames and impersonating people. You immediately transferred to Twitter, the stream turning into a picture-in-picture form and situating itself at the bottom corner of your phone, and sent him a message. George! It's me. Do you remember everything? The Minecraft realm? The library? The golden apple? Your heart rate picks up as you anxiously wait for a response. You hope you're quick enough. You heard these quick typing noises from the stream and the chat zoomed by your name, combined by a bunch of question marks asking who you were. And then, suddenly, someone joins the call. Dream! George, what the hell are you doing? It's I! What do you mean it's I? Mute your mic on stream, you idiot. The audio from both Dream and George's mic have been silenced. And then suddenly you have a notification beep from Twitter. I! Of course I remember. That smiley face is so cute. Dream's helping me book a flight for you right now. Would next week be okay? You flushed. Already? But it wasn't as if you didn't want to be by his side. You already missed being next to him. Next message came in and it was like both of you had a connected brain cell. Wait. Oh my god. Wait. Was that too quick? Oh my god, I'm so sorry. George, it's okay. I'm free, so it's okay. Oh my god, you two are so cute with the smiley faces. Is this real? Oh my god. Wait, please don't look at my stream for like 5 seconds. Huh? Curiously, you picked out the stream window at the bottom of the corner. George was jumping around in happiness, arms in the air, before returning back to the mic, seemingly telling the other male of your decision. You laughed to yourself, your cheeks hurting from how much you were smiling the entire time. You couldn't wait to see him again. George, romantic and plain. Okay, I know it's kind of a long episode, but let's look at the other endings. Let's go. Okay, so I think I found the second ending. So let's read it. You heard the noise of it. You didn't feel any pain. You opened your eyes and saw George, who had his bow up and fired his last arrow at the dragon in only one hit away. The dragon screeches as it levitates up, light radiating from its body, as it slowly disintegrates into specks of particles and HP points. And right then, a sound effect echoes from George himself. George Not Found has made advancement free the end. Everything was silent before all three of them began to whoop proudly. Oh my god, George, you did it! Yeah, that's our boy! George was then lifted into the air by the two, the male himself laughing loudly as they all cheered. After a whole while of being stunned, you let out a shout of giggles. The boys turned around as they heard you laugh. Their faces softened as they lowered the older male down, approaching you. Jim and Satna help you up from their feet, and George passes you the golden apple you dropped. Be careful with your things next time, okay? He smiles at you and nodded, your face blushing at your clumsiness last minute had caused you to be endangered in the first place. You muttered a small thanks whilst proceeding to nibble at the fruit, to which his smile grew sweeter at. Alright, let's go home, guys. Dream hollers out. Satnap approaches him, swinging his arm around in some weird side hug. They both laugh as they make their way towards the middle. You, on the other hand, had taken slow strides beside George. He seemed to have noticed you felt nervous. Hey, it'll be okay. We'll be back home once we enter the portal. His tone was soft, comforting. We are thankful for him and understanding our feelings as we both made our way to the portal. You all stared down at the black, swirling vortex, with particles swirling around mixing hints of teal. On 3. Everyone grinned at him. 1, 2, 3. You woke up on your bedroom floor, clutching at your throbbing head. It seemed that you had fallen over your chair. You hear your phone buzzing from your desk. Groaning, you crawled over to check your notifications were going off for. For the first few spams, it had been your friends with you, who were apparently late for your Hypixel game together with them. Your most recent one was George Not Found when live, fixing my chair. George Not Found. George. Minecraft. The Realm. You quickly pressed the notification, the stream's audio booming out of your phone speakers. Sorry guys. I know we're supposed to be doing a Minecraft challenge right now, but our connection did some sort of blip and now my chair's wrecked. The chat roared in laughter, finding it hilarious that he had fallen off his chair to the point of breaking it. Wow, chat, you guys aren't feeling nice tonight, huh? Your heartbeat rises. You impulsively send a dono to try to catch his attention. He stops holding pieces that belong to his chair to check the donation. Okay, we just donate you thank you for the dono. To think you're so smart. George stopped himself and he read your username. Hold on, DM me on Twitter. Do you have the same user? You had to be quick. You know how fast people can be at taking names and usernames and impersonating people? You immediately transferred to Twitter, the screen turning into a picture-in-picture form situating itself at the bottom corner of your phone, and sent him a message. George! It's me, do you remember everything? The Minecraft realm, the library, the Ender Dragon? Your heart rate picks up as you anxiously wait for a response. You hope you were quick enough. You heard his quick typing noises from his stream as the chat zoomed by with your name combined with a bunch of question marks asking who you were. And then, suddenly, someone joined the call. Dream! George, what the hell are you doing? It's I. What do you mean it's I? Mute your mic on stream, you idiot. The audio from both Dream and George's mic had been silenced. And then suddenly you have a notification beep from Twitter. Hey! I remember you, I. Do you want to hang out on MC? On Minecraft later, after I fix my chair? Maybe I do a challenge and record it? You hesitated, remembering what he said. Immediately, he added another response. I'll proofread the code this time, don't worry. I'll do 2. 3 times. I'll even get Dream and Sapnap to do it. You let an amused chuckle and type in a reply. It's okay, George. Of course I'll play with you after your stream. Oh. Cool. Okay, cool. I can't wait. You smiled so widely that your eyes shut, bringing your phone close to their chest. You can't wait for the challenge. Platonic and Minecraft, but you were found. Alright, last ending, bad ending, let's go. Alright, last ending, let's go, let's get it. You heard the noise of a hit. You didn't feel any pain. You opened your eyes and saw George. He had a smile on his face, but his teeth were clenched. He let out of breath as he glanced up at his health bar. No. The remaining heart in his health bar had begun to flash white before disappearing altogether. You caught him as he fell forward, right into your arms. You held him closely as you can. He felt so light. You noticed there were specks of color around him. There were pixels. He was disappearing into the tiniest of particles. George! Dream exclaimed before landing a final hit onto the dragon. It lets out a screech as it levitates up, light preceding its body as it slowly disintegrates into specks of particles of XP points. Sapnap had immediately run to your side. George, stay with us. Don't screw around. George only lets out a weak giggle as his body began to glitch out as he tries to poke his Sapnap's cheek lightheartedly. Oh, they're crying. Dream hurries to your area, holding the other hand. Come on, guys. It was better me than any one of you. I wouldn't want to having to experience any of this. George, stop being an idiot for once. You began to tear up whilst both Dream and Sapnap began to weep for their best friend. Stop fooling around, George. You're coming with us. Just shut up and come through the portal by our side. Hey, guys, you all look way better with a smiles on your face. Let's try that, yeah? Smile for me. Dream lets out a sob and Sapnap could only sniffle, but the two of them tried their hardest to give George what they wanted. They always did. They let out the best smile they could ever muster. George grins back. I knew I could always count on you two. He then turns to you. I'm sorry to have annoyed or burdened you in any way. I have only one last request for you. Could you please take care of these two for me? Before you could even give him a response, his body collapses into thin air. The last thing you see was a pleased smile on his face. Dream and Sapnap had simultaneously let out loud wheels as they began to lower themselves to the ground where their best friend used to be. You sat there, motionless, unable to properly comprehend what had just happened. You feel numb, but you also began to shed your own share of tears. All three of you had stayed there a bit longer, allowing yourselves to grieve for a while longer. After a few moments, Dream took a shaky stance up while swiping a chair away from his face. He reaches out to both of you and Sapnap to help both of you up to your feet. Come on. We have to go. He keeps his grip on both of your sleeves and Sapnap's as he leads all three of you to the exit portal. It was silent as he pulled you both into the vortex. You woke up in your bedroom floor, clutching at your throbbing head. It seemed that you had fallen over your chair. You hear a phone buzzing on your desk. Groaning, you plow over to check the notifications were going off for. For a few spams, it had been your friends you were apparently late for a Hypixel game together with them. The most recent Dream went live. My chair broke. Huh? You tap on the notification and turn on the stream. Sapnap, stop laughing. I didn't laugh when you screwed your chair up. Sapnap let out a cackle. It sounded like he was laughing so hard to the point that he had to clutch his stomach. But I wasn't a moron who only accidentally disconnected with his Wi-Fi but also leaned back to the point of breaking his own chair. The Texan continued to poke fun at his friend. Dream lets out a scoff. Whatever, Sapnap. Chat, we're delaying the challenge me and Sapnap coded for a bit. I don't have anything else to sit on. You let out a chuckle at their interactions. Their chemistry with each other and the door had always been entertaining. Though, you feel like something was missing here. Oh yeah, your Hypixel game. You should really get back online. Bad end, 404. Wow, not found. Alright, nice ending. Woo, we completed George's three of George's endings. All of George's endings, actually. Alright. So I'm just gonna be short about this and just ask you to comment down below what you think of this video and give me suggestions for games to play. Like if you like, dislike if you dislike, subscribe for more content like this. And I guess that's it. Thank you for watching and have a good day.